overcoming doomed scrolling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it goes for all the platforms.
And also talking about LinkedIn and hacks, is there any particular way that you have to structure your LinkedIn profile or your resume? ஸோ இப்போ என்கிட்ட ஒரு LinkedIn ப்ரொஃபைல் இருக்கு. அப்புறம் ஒரு ரெஸ்யூமே இருக்கு. ஸோ இந்த LinkedIn ப்ரொஃபைல்ல நீங்க என்னலாம் சேஞ்சஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க? சேஞ்சஸ் பண்ணா ரெக்ரூட்டர்ஸ் வந்து உங்கள நோட்டீஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. Okay. What
Before you
about
get
approaching to an employee who's already working there but has no no connection with HR or something like that? He's just working there. He or she is just working there. Just approaching him and asking, is there any job opportunity in your company? What about that? How does that work?
again, like we discussed the steps, right? Those steps still remain.
Yeah, the same.
I mean, sometimes like LinkedIn only offers you 5 free connection notes
Yeah.
that you can leave in a month.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to use that very wisely.
Mm.
And yeah, you scroll through their experience section, you scroll through all their posts. A lot of people don't have it, but still you need to find some reason to connect with them,
Connect with them.
right? And the book that I mentioned, How to Make Friends,
Yeah.
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
That book tells you that if you want an outcome or if you want a favor from someone, appreciate them first.
Okay.
People like to brag about themselves.
Yeah.
People like to talk about their experience and what they are doing.
That is a
That
smart way of approaching,
that makes them return the favor. That makes them more likely to return the favor.
So, next question, Enana, like even I have faced this situation. When I was looking for out for my first job, like I used to send hundreds of easy apply, click on easy apply, send my resume, click on easy apply, send my resume. But I never got any much of a response from that. And it is very worse when it comes to tech industry as well. Like there are given that there are like lot of job openings and there is a lot of competition for tech industry as well. So அவங்களுக்கு நீங்க என்ன advice பண்றீங்க? I have given like already applied for 100 plus jobs but got no response. Like what should I do?
The easier answer will be iterate and improve.
Mm-hmm.
100 rejections means there's something wrong.
Hmm.
Probably with your profile, probably with the situation.
Okay. Hmm.
Like in the current job market, if you're getting 100 plus rejections, it's okay. It's not a very big problem, especially if you have done well on your profile and you're a good, you have done good work, you have done some amazing, you achieved some amazing objectives at your previous company or in your college. That's good enough.
Mhm.
It may be that the role that you're applying for, like if you're applying for product management role, there are 1,000+ applications for every single opportunity out there.
Yeah.
So things like how quickly you applied. Let's say the job was posted today and you applied within 5 seconds. You're most likely to get a response. If you're delayed till, let's say you're the 1,000th candidate,
Candidate.
very less likely.
Yeah.
100 plus rejections. Like, so yeah, one thing is keep improving your resume.
Hmm.
Get it reviewed from people who
Professor.
are already doing the work that you want to do.
Hmm. Right.
So if you're into BTech, look at people who are already doing SD2, SD3 kind of a work at big companies. Get it reviewed from them. Find out what are the mistakes in your resume. The other thing that you can do is make sure that your resume is well aligned to the job descriptions,
Okay. Okay.
especially if you're switching industries.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
you're moving from software development to product management, it has to reflect that you have done some kind of product management work while being an SDE.
So what do you think about taking up an additional course, to support that switch? Will that work or you will have to, uh, you know, get more of a projects or like
Yeah,
something like that?
there's a process that you can follow to do this. Courses, yes, they help. Along with courses, you need to learn the application of that course as well.
Okay. Hmm.
Let's say, I'll give you an example of Excel.
Hmm.
Everyone needs it, right?
Yeah, right.
Irrespective of your background.
Yeah, right.
So, you would do some course on Excel, you will learn some uh, formulas, some functions in Excel,
Hmm.
right? We have this habit of forgetting things which we do not repeat often.
True.
Like even today, let's say Okay, today I use it every day, but if I had to say VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP, I
Mhm.
always forget which one goes where,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
The thing I used to do in my college days was I used to follow a few content creators on Instagram who are posting reels on Excel.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
The moment they post something, I'll fire my laptop and open Excel and
Try that out.
replicate it then
Okay.
and there. So that's the replication part. You learned a skill, you're replicating it.
Hmm.
The second, the third part of it is doing things on your own.
Yeah.
I learned Excel. Now I'll use Excel to calculate how many months it will take for me to pay my education loan back.
Hmm.
You can do similar things on making your monthly budget. That's very interesting. Say you're spending in 5 different categories. You enter one expense of yours
Mhm.
and you want it to be automatically categorized,
Okay.
and then maybe a dashboard out of your monthly
Building a
expense,
dashboard.
that how much is going into commute, how much is going into food, how much is your shopping and all that. Right.
Okay.
That's where it gets very interesting. So you do things on your own. You
Hmm.
start building projects. That's where the projects come in. Once you have done the projects, it's also important to present it well.
Hmm.
If you've done something on Excel and you simply put that Excel sheet on LinkedIn in a post, there's very less likelihood that that post will do well.
Okay.
You need to create a presentation. Even in the presentation, don't put paragraphs explaining the thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Put graphics over there, put charts over there,
Okay.
or put, let's say, shapes. If you're putting a
Mhm.
text, make it look like a button.
Okay.
So instead of 3 bullet points, there's 3 buttons on
Buttons on.
your slide, and maybe not more than 10 slides, because who will scroll that much?
Yeah. Right. So, are there any cool hacks when it comes to LinkedIn? Like, the hack that nobody knows, like what to do or how to do it?
One interesting thing is, have you noticed your LinkedIn URL?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
It
my
has your name.
name. Yeah.
After your name, it has some random
Right.
character.
Yeah. Yeah.
And get rid of those characters.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't remember the exact process, but there's some edit contact info button. You
Mhm.
click there. Especially, it's easier on
Mhm.
when you do it on laptop.
Mhm.
And when you click on edit that contact info button, there is a pencil, and you can just go and remove all those additional characters.
Okay.
That helps when people are, let's say, just searching for your name on Google.
Huh. Huh. Huh.
Your profile goes
Up.
up in
Yeah.
the results page.
Search space. Yeah.
That's one. Second thing is, people don't know the importance of leaving comments.
Hmm.
So
Uh,
there's one content
Even like,
creator.
something, sometimes I find it cringe as well, like to go on some random post and then leave a comment. It is very tough to like approach people in comment section. So even I don't do that. So is there any way to, uh, overcome that and like, leave a comment on that?
Leaving a comment is also a way to help you in overcoming doomed scrolling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it goes for all the platforms.
Mhm.
In Instagram, if you've commented well on a reel,
Mhm.
other than the ones which are only meant for fun, if you've
Mhm.
left a comment on an educational reel and
Mm.
it's good, your comment sometimes goes more viral than
Than the
actual
video action.
your actual post.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I left this one comment on LinkedIn and it got 30 likes.
Wow,
And sometimes a few of my posts struggle to get that much.
that much.
That's your growth hack on LinkedIn.
Leaving comments.
Let's say someone is an expert in, again, I'll go back to the DSA example. Someone is an expert in DSA, they have about 50K followers.
Mhm.
You as a student don't have that much. They posted something, you left a comment, and people start reading that comment. They'll, if that comment is good, they will for sure think of you as someone who has a little bit of knowledge about it.
Hmm.
That's also increasing your likelihood of getting noticed and in turn getting hired.
Yeah. And also talking about LinkedIn and like, hacks, is there any particular way that you have to structure your LinkedIn profile or your resume? Like, say, these are the points that you have to do. And like, under each of your experience, you have to like, write a script or like, write a job description in such a way. such ways. That is something like that. Like how do you build when you build resumes, or build people like who approaches you for LinkedIn profiles, like how do you do that? How do you structure that?
Okay, there's two questions in there,
Yeah.
LinkedIn and resume.
Yeah.
Let's start with LinkedIn first.
Hmm.
Okay. The first thing for a LinkedIn profile is obviously the profile picture.
Hmm.
A lot of people make this mistake of getting the profile picture wrong in the first place,
Yeah.
right? The profile picture, if you need an example, it should be what you see on your screen right now. It should be a portrait shot
Hmm.
or just your face, 80% face, like they say for a passport size photo.
Right. Right.
No mirror selfies, and make sure the environment, the room where you shoot, where you're clicking that picture is well lit. The background should not be too funky.
Hmm.
It should not distract people,
Hmm.
right? And yeah, profile picture is the most important part because people will see your profile picture at every touch point on LinkedIn. Leave a comment, they see your profile. You repost, they see your profile picture
Yeah. Right.
on your profile, obviously. And in DMs, yes. Even when people are applying for a job, they see people who are working in that company. Your profile picture is there. So it's everywhere. So don't leave it blank because people perceive it as a dead person, dead profile. Next thing is your banner.
Hmm.
Banner is the most underrated, the most underused part of LinkedIn.
Mhm.
I've seen people simply putting their college in their banner,
Yeah.
especially the
Yeah.
IIM pass outs.
Okay.
It works really well for them
Yeah. Yeah.
because you already have a very big brand. But I would suggest otherwise because you're limiting your personal brand to that IIM
Hmm.
building, red
Okay.
bricks, gray bricks,
Okay.
right? Having an IIM is okay. Having your college is okay. If that's a good brand, it's
Brand.
good.
Yeah.
But there should be a mission statement of sorts in there. How you
So
can
if
help
not
people.
college pictures, if not, funky background, what should the ideal banner be?
I wouldn't call it an ideal banner.
Hmm.
Nothing is perfection
Yeah.
in any way. Easier things are have a decent color,
Mm-hmm.
a plain color. Color it's like you'll have to dive deeper into color psychology to understand which color works for you.
Okay.
It's like you can straight away go to ChatGPT and say I'm a data science student.
Mm-hmm.
What uh, what color should be my LinkedIn background,
Background. Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And you can also use those same colors in your the attire that you're posting on your
Mm-hmm.
profile picture, and even your post can be around the similar color palette.
Right. Right.
It's as deep as you want to go into it, but
Mhm.
I would say start somewhere and then build on top of it.
Okay.
Then your headline
Mm.
where you're supposed to write where you're working, and if you're a student, you can just write student at XYZ college. Then also write something which catches attention of the reader by saying that
Let me make it simple. Like I'm a data science student, so what should be my heading?
it can be exploring things between a regression equation, random forest, and all
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Something catchy
Mm-hmm.
for headline as well as for your banner.
Banner.
So you have your color, you probably have a full picture of yourself in the banner,
Mm-hmm.
and then a catchy line which says, uh, finding my way through the random forest.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
comes on out of
Okay.
top of my mind, but it sounds interesting, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Finding my way through the random forest, and let's say you put a forest in the background,
Okay. Okay.
right? Headline, then more than your about section, your featured section is more important. So
Mm-hmm.
featured section is where you can pin your topmost posts,
Mm-hmm.
probably things which you want the audience to read,
Mm-hmm.
right? About section is an interesting one because people generally make this mistake of making long paragraphs in their about section.
Yeah.
It has to be very, very simple.
Mm-hmm.
It has to almost look like a post.
I've been like coming across a lot of data driven, result driven kind of a thing.
Generic things. No?
Yeah.
I would say take the pain of writing your description by yourself,
Hmm.
then go to ChatGPT and tell it to critique it.
Okay.
Make it shorter so that every paragraph is not more than a line,
Okay.
not
Okay.
more than one line
Okay.
in a smartphone screen.
Hmm.
So it's even shorter on a
Shorter,
laptop.
yeah, laptops.
Make it short, make it bullet points, use some emojis if you want to,
Mm-hmm.
and write it in a way that people want to read it. The other thing is you can also structure it in a way that it's in increasing order of words in a sentence,
Okay.
or in increasing and decreasing.
Decreasing order.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That works.
Okay, now let's go to the resume part.
Mm-hmm.
First thing on your resume is obviously your name.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is what I call as an interest line,
Okay.
the ways to reach out to you.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing will be your contact number, your email address, your LinkedIn profile. If you have a portfolio, you mention your portfolio link and city.
Okay.
Which city? Your Not your current city, your city where you're applying for.
For.
If the company is in Bangalore, put Bangalore. If it's in Hyderabad, put Hyderabad over there. So keep that changing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The next thing is a career summary, which is in a way optional for freshers, optional for people who don't have an experience, but it's a good way to summarize your profile. We'll come back to that, how to write it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next thing is your experience section. If you don't have experience as a fresher, like we discussed previously, you put projects over there.
Mm-hmm.
Experience, how you write it is you write the company name, you write your designation. On the right hand side, you would write the duration,
Mm-hmm.
month and year, not the exact date, and at max 6 bullet points per company.
Okay. 6 bullet points.
Yeah. And again, like we discussed in the about section of LinkedIn, make
Not
sure
more than one.
every bullet point is not more than 1.5 to 2 lines.
Mhm.
2 lines is a max.
Okay.
No one wants to read paragraphs anymore. We are the
But at the same time, it should be beyond 6, like at least 6 points, so that it'll represent.
no, not
Yeah.
at least. Like let's say you worked at 4 companies, every experience is good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You can also do 4 or 3 bullet points per experience.
Okay.
The idea is to summarize your work, right? What are your key achievements or
Mm-hmm.
accomplishments that you have done?
Yeah.
But let's say your most recent one is most important, it has most impact. It can go 5 to 6 bullet points.
Right.
Then after experience, you can mention your skills.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 ways to do it. One is line by line, which is what most engineers do, because you have multiple skill buckets,
Right.
design tools, not quite design tools, maybe coding libraries or
Project.
scripts, tools,
Mm.
technical skills, and maybe data visualization. So there will be multiple tools under each bucket, right?
Right.
There is SaaSops also, so Kubernetes and all that,
Yeah.
right? So those are skill buckets, and you mention it line by line. If you have lesser skills, or you don't need to mention that many skills, you can do 12 bullet points also.
Right.
So that will be a 3 column list of skills.
Hmm. Hmm. Is
Right?
there any specific, when it even comes to number of pages, people tell us to keep it limited, very limited. But is there anything like that, like when it comes to the number of pages and resume?
For freshers, I would insist on keeping it 1 pager.
Okay.
Like if you have only the projects, that's the most important part, right? I'll tell you, people will read the first page, the very beginning of it very carefully.
Mhm.
That is why your career summary is the most important part.
Mhm.
If you have it, make sure you write it well.
Hmm.
Don't write generic things.
So how to write a career summary then?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It starts with an adjective which is very specific to the role.
Mhm.
If I'm in finance, detail orientation,
Oh,
attention to detail,
okay.
something around numbers.
If you're around tech then?
If you're around tech, one thing is you have to be good at collaboration.
Hmm.
You have to be good at fast-paced environment of a startup if you're specifically going for a startup. You have to be good at problem solving.
Hmm.
You have to be good at adaptability.
Mhm. How important is a keyword there?
First word, most important.
Okay.
You are essentially saying by this one word I'm fitting to this role. So it's that important.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm not an expert in English literature like you.
Mm.
So you can just straight away go to ChatGPT and say that these are the requirements of this role. which adjective will best suit for the career summary.
Right.
And like I said, you can just put all your experience section, all your skills and certifications in ChatGPT, summarize it for me,
Okay.
and then
That works.
it will give you a big paragraph. So then
Mhm.
shorten it further, make it 2 lines.
Okay.
But it still needs a lot of iterations,
Hmm.
and it needs a lot of revisions sometimes, because every company will have a different need. You also need to think about the values of the company,
Right.
honesty and all that.
Hmm.
Some companies have a value of being customer centric, so you have to put customer
Right.
centricity in
Okay.
summary
Take up the skill that is much needed and put it as a keyword in a
everywhere,
different.
sprinkle it
Yeah.
like salt,
Okay. That works.
but be honest about it.
Okay. Yeah.
So after skills, you have certifications.
Mhm.
If you have any achievements that make a difference, put that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But avoid things like a declaration statement. Whatever I'm saying is true.
Okay.
It is meant to be true. Don't put things like gender, marital status.
Mhm.
Even avoid photos.
Okay.
All these things create bias. There's bias of two kinds when people are hiring these
Mhm.
days.
Mhm.
The bias of lesser experience, people who have less than 2 years of experience, the bias of more experience, 15 plus years of experience,
Okay.
because that is perceived like this person is slowing down in life,
Okay.
not ready to learn new things.
That works. ஸோ, இப்போ என்கிட்ட ஒரு LinkedIn ப்ரொஃபைல் இருக்கு. அப்புறம் ஒரு ரெஸ்யூமே இருக்கு. ஸோ, இந்த LinkedIn ப்ரொஃபைல்ல நீங்க என்னலாம் சேஞ்சஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க? சேஞ்சஸ் பண்ணா ரெக்ரூட்டர்ஸ் வந்து உங்கள நோட்டீஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. அந்த மாரி இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் சொல்ல முடியுமா? வாட் ஆர் த சேஞ்சஸ் தட் ஒன் ஹாஸ் டூ மேக் இன் திஸ் LinkedIn ப்ரொஃபைல்? கேன் கோ த்ரூ இட்.
Yeah. See, this is a cinematography and media operations person,
ஓகே.
but they haven't written what they are doing.
ம்ஹ்ம்.
So the headline tells me cinematography and media operations, but what are you doing in it? Right?
ஓகே.
The profile picture is him looking into
ஓகே.
what looks like a camera equipment,
ம்ஹ்ம்.
but it doesn't show me his face,
ம்ஹ்ம்.
right? This should probably be a part of his banner
ஓகே.
instead of
த ப்ரொஃபைல்
the
பிக்சர்.
profile picture.
ம்.
The profile picture should be you
ம்.
and your face.
ம்.
The banner is not there.
ம்ஹ்ம்.
So having a banner and having a catchy line related to cinematography.
What he does in cinematography.
Yes, something like bringing experiences to life with my camera,
ம். ம்.
something like that. Improvise on that. He has lesser connections, which is not a problem. It's good in a way because you have the time to build your profile and connect with people who are actually meant to help you, who can help you, instead of just randomly having a bunch of followers who are good for nothing.
Yeah.
Lesser posts, not a problem. Post more on experiences like this,
ம்.
where
Working on podcast.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're essentially you're creating a content which is helping so many people, right?
ம்.
So you need to write. You can write stories on what podcast you're shooting and what is the experience like sitting behind the lenses and
ம்.
listening to the speaker,
ம்ஹ்ம்.
right? They are also in the moment.
Yeah, right. Right.
So there's that. Experience section looks good. This person has spent some time on writing it, which is really good. Experiences, it looks fine. Skill section, maybe they can, okay, they already have 28 skills, lesser endorsements, but that's not a problem. Interests, probably some recommendations will make a lot of sense here
Mhm.
because you worked with so many podcast hosts like
Yep.
yourself.
Yeah.
So a recommendation from you on how they are managing the entire process,
Process.
or if there is a point of breakage, how they swiftly resolve that.
Mhm.
That would make a lot of sense.
Like writing a real time experience and posting that, like how that was a
No,
new
about the recommendation part.
recommendation.
You writing
Oh,
something for,
okay. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, and that's it. So this first part
Mhm.
of LinkedIn is the most important part. I
Mhm.
call it a digital visiting card.
Okay.
So your profile picture, banner, and your headline,
Mhm.
that is like the holy grail of it,
Mhm.
and you need to do it well.
Okay.
So few changes, and this is a very interesting line to be in, right? You are
Mhm.
uh, always in front of a camera,
Yeah.
so you'll get good pictures of yourself for sure.
Yeah. Works.
Yeah, so this is about the LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll show you resume as well. So much.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing I noticed on this one is uh, the name. For some reason, this person has mentioned a preferred name,
Mm.
which is different from their document
Name.
specific name, right? I don't see a reason to mention this. This is probably meant for mentioning when you have already joined a company and you want to tell uh, your your
Employee.
group,
Yeah.
and this is how I'm called.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense on top of it. I think they've mentioned their contact details on the very bottom.
Mhm.
That means if I want to extend an offer or send out a communication to this person, I have to scroll till the end of this resume
You know.
to reach out,
Yeah.
to make a call for them, which adds a little bit of friction, a little bit of pain for me to scroll down
Mhm.
as a recruiter. They've mentioned native Malayalam speaker, which I understand is a requirement for few of the roles,
Mhm.
but and that also they've mentioned it twice. So the first line in the career summary is native Malayalam speaker. Language is known again: Malayalam, native speaker, English, Tamil, Hindi. These are not required
Mhm.
in the resume. If the company needs you to specify which language you are fluent in, they will specifically ask for it in the application form.
Okay.
They've mentioned skills in the summary part. Skills should be a different section of its own, which makes the summary part redundant.
Mhm.
Summary, like we discussed previously, it should be what you're doing currently and why it matters for your next company. Right?
Okay.
Those details. Education, I think for someone who has already got a good experience, it should go till the bottom.
Bottom.
So education goes to the end. The skills section also goes after your experience section.
Mm.
And if you see the work experience section, they are wasting this much of space, which is almost like a passport size photo on this A4 paper.
Mhm.
It's more than that actually.
Mhm.
What that does is it squeezes the space where you actually mention what is the meat
Okay.
of
For
the
the
resume.
requirement. Yeah.
Yeah. More metrics would help them clear it well for the next job. Yeah, other than that, this looks fine. If I have to rate it, I would rate it probably at 7 because it's not that bad.
Okay.
Yeah, but to take it to 9.5, you will need to make the
Great.
changes which we discussed.
Thank you. So we have come to the last part of our episode. So இன்னைக்கு எபிசோட்ல LinkedIn ப்ரொஃபைல எப்படி நீங்க ஆப்டிமைஸ் பண்றது, அப்புறம் ரெஸ்யூம் எப்படி பில்ட் பண்றதுங்கிறத கிளியர் கட்டா கபில் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணாரு. தேங்க் யூ ஸோ மச். இட் வாஸ் ரியலி இன்சைட்ஃபுல். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி டெக் ரிலேட்டட் அண்ட் கோடிங் ரிலேட்டட் கண்டென்ட் எங்க சேனல்ல வந்துட்டே தான் இருக்க போகுது. ஸோ மறக்காம எங்க சேனலை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. தேங்க் யூ.